Alright, hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to this news video. I am the Ninjaneer, and this one's gonna be a chunky one, so grab a snack or something, because it's about to get real. So the topics we're covering today are as follows. FSD changes the game. Here we go again. Raj interview with inmotiv. What is Volkswagen getting from Rivian? Jesus take the wheel, pants. What a glass. The title sucks, but the content. GM claims 1,000-mile run. Telo $20 million infusion. Aptera Owners Club on battery factory deportations. Aptera has hired. Aptera is hiring. Something random, and things I liked. Let's get going. Okay, so this one had a lot of people in a tizzy some time ago, and I missed the story completely, even considering the breaks. I missed completely this story. So we're going to go ahead and talk about it now. The definition of full self-driving has changed on their website. It is no longer full self-driving, just regular. It has become full self-driving supervised. Yeah, it was something that's been kind of rumored for a while that this was going to happen, or this revision was on the way, but it actually says so on their website as of like the 5th, according to Electrek. So yeah, this was kind of a big deal. People were bothered by it. I figured something like this was coming eventually because I'm just going to say it. They were outright lying about their full self-driving capabilities. It is a revolutionary system. I do believe that it is one of those systems that is actually pretty darn good with respect to all of the features that it has and things like that. But calling it full self-driving and, giving a weird vibe when people ask about it, like, oh yeah, so it can fully drive me anywhere, and it wasn't. Yeah, long story short, there was some disconnect between how people interpreted their system and how the system actually operated, and it's caused a lot of different issues, including accidents and what have you. So I'm guessing finally somebody got enough traction on a lawsuit or something like that to make it so that they have to change their verbiage. So their verbiage has changed. Like I said, it's something that I was expecting for a while, but a lot of people were like, ugh. So yeah, don't freak out, folks. In a way, this is the natural progression of things until they do actually figure out how to make full self-driving unsupervised. So yeah, that's what this is. Yeah, that's what this is. So the next story that I was going to cover was removed from the website that I was going to cover it on. But essentially what happened is there were reports about Tesla's market share, market penetration, things like that, and how their numbers were changing, and their numbers are changing faster in the direction we expected than what we expected. More or less, I searched around and found another article that kind of reports it better. Yahoo Finance has this same website kind of folded into their website. Like basically Yahoo takes website stuff and hosts it on their website in order to get ad revenue or something like that. Anyway, I found the article on Yahoo Finance. So that's where we're going to look at it today. Even though the street article is gone, this one is still up. Anywho, long story short, this article says that the market share for Tesla has dipped. The number of deliveries has gone down. Yeah, it's been kind of a rough time for Tesla recently. And there are studies that show that this difficulty has a lot to do, well, not a lot to do, but has something to do with the recent political actions of one Elon Musk. So we have actual data that shows that people's sentiment towards Tesla is changing as a result of his actions. We are seeing the tangible results of it in their deliveries numbers and things like that for their last financial statements. We are seeing it in the overall sentiment that people have towards Tesla changing. So yeah, this is just kind of a manifestation of that. People are gravitating away from Tesla faster than what market analysts suggested they should be, considering the fact that there are more and more competitors coming into the space all the time. They expected a certain amount of drop in their market penetration, their market saturation coverage, like how much of the market they control is being compromised faster than they expected. And like I said, there's some numbers to suggest that it has something to do with Elon Musk's political actions. It has something to do with new competition coming into the market. It has something to do with their supply chains and a couple of supply chain issues with results directly stemming from the tariffs. There's a lot of things that are causing this, but it is still worth noting that this is happening faster than what people expected. So Raj did a phenomenal interview with the VP of engineering for inmotiv. His name is Dan Boxeth. He talked a lot about the technology, why it exists, how they came across the idea. Just a whole bunch of really good nuggets to kind of give you an idea of where their heads were at and why they partnered with Aptera and things like that. Just an overall fantastic interview. I would suggest checking it out. All right, so Thunderbolt Auto is a channel that I recently came across maybe a month ago or so, and I thought that their name was interesting. They also had a very similar number of subscribers to me, so I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and make sure that I am paying attention to this channel. He put out a fantastic explainer video about what precisely Volkswagen is obtaining from Rivian with respect to that several billion-dollar deal that they did some time ago. I covered that in a previous video. I might put a link to that as well. But yeah, long story short, this guy does a great job of explaining what they do get and what they don't get from this deal. So yeah, check that video out if you haven't. It is fantastically done. Okay, so there are people out there in the real world spotting Aptera moving around in it. This particular picture shows Aptera without its wheel pants and without its solar, its hatch solar, and just driving around the freeway. It's also missing that rear section of the back wheel cover. Not entirely sure what that's about. They have everything else built out the way it's supposed to. It also looks like they might not have the solar on the top of the vehicle. Yeah, long story short, it looks like they are trying to do some kind of testing with relation to things that aren't solar related, because they're missing a good chunk of the solar panels. But long story short, people are actually spotting it in the wild. People are wondering what it is, and it's catching eyes as it normally does. And people are noticing it and posting that they've seen it and things like that. Speaking of Aptera Solar, this beautiful picture of their solar panel for the rear hatch with the glass on it, by the way, was posted on their Twitter page. So, their X page. I still do that. I'm going to be doing that probably forever. It is Twitter in my head and I can't help it. I'm sorry. But yeah, so this photo was posted and it is basically just the full length of the rear hatch solar, and just seeing it like this is just really cool. It is now my background on my computer. So, I mean, yeah, anyway, that is a thing that happened and cool stuff. All right, so there were a lot of thoughts that came to my head as I looked at the title of this article. Most of them were negative. The one that was positive was kind of interpreting this title as some kind of dad joke. Yeah, basically this title is absolutely terrible. Dodge's future EVs won't need a charger thanks to radical new battery tech. Every EV for all time and eternity, unless they bring some kind of solar panel or something on their vehicle and make it efficient like Aptera, will require a charger. Dodge makes a charger, which is why I think they titled the article this way, but it leads to a myriad of really terrible misconceptions and confusions about what Dodge has done with their battery tech. Yeah, so enough about the title. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. Basically, what is going on is Stellantis has successfully tested a different approach, to a revolutionary approach in their opinion, to electric vehicle battery design that could reshape EV architecture. What they have essentially done was removed the inverter and other pieces of the charging cycle into software. They have taken hardware and made it software. So theoretically what's going to happen is their vehicles are going to be lighter sans an inverter or that little communication line between the actual grid and the vehicle, because that link is going to be software now. It is interesting, and I want to see how this technology is implemented, how much weight it saves, and things like that. But right now, all we know is they have an integrated system called the IBIS, the Intelligent Battery Integrated System, that is taking the place of some of the physical components that make up the charging system for a battery electric vehicle. So yeah, it's really cool. I hope that it ends up being something revolutionary that everybody can adopt and save some weight on their vehicles. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, like I said, hope it works out. Okay, so I watched a video that a friend of mine gave to me. In fact, I'm hoping that friend will become a person who does podcasts with me at some point or another. Anyway, this video talks about a run that this Chevy does that goes 1,000 miles. There are a ridiculous number of caveats that made that possible, but it is still a fact that as far as this testing is concerned, the testing done by General Motors, they claim to be able to go 1,000 miles on a single charge in the longest range version of their Chevy Silverado. Like I said, there are many caveats to this. They didn't go faster than like 25 miles per hour or something like that. There were a lot of things. Let me see if I can find that actual piece. They did a slide where it shows their caveats, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Oh, there we go. Caveats. Let's go ahead and jump here. You can see here that there are a lot of caveats that this particular run had that made this possible. So many caveats, in fact, that I am not entirely certain why they made this video beyond wanting to have that headline, "We can drive 1,000 miles in a GM vehicle." Yeah, I guess my thought process on the matter is please do that without the ridiculous number of caveats, and then we'll talk. But yeah, it's an interesting video. It's well done. It's well produced, and the people are fun to watch and to listen to. But the caveats, like I said, are numerous and test breaking in my opinion. But yeah, long story short, this happened. This is a thing. I am interested in the logic for how they said, oh, we're going to basically do all the things to increase the range and then say we've gone 1,000 miles. Anyway, this is a thing. I covered it because I think it is fascinating, even with the caveats that they were able to do this. All right, so Telo Trucks has raised $20 million toward their production tooling and things of that nature. I love how they have moved so quickly past that $20 million mark. I did not even get a chance to start to budget for investing in them. There are like 3 companies so far that are like startups that I'm really interested in, that I wanted to invest in. Telo was one of them, and they raised the money so fast I couldn't even, get in on that. So hopefully they do another funding round at some point or another, because I want to get in on that whole situation. But yeah, it's really really cool to hear that they're able to raise money, a significant amount of money this quickly. And like I said, I hope they get to market just the same way I hope Aptera gets to market, so I can have that dream driveway. But yeah, this is a really encouraging sign. So I had heard about this situation with the LG battery plant being raided by ICE. I did not know at the time that it was an LG plant. I just knew that a plant had been raided, and most of the people that worked there were basically forced out of their jobs and were scared enough that they wanted to go home, said, F your couch, and just left basically. But yeah, this is one of the weird things, in my opinion, about where America is when it comes to making electric vehicles a thing. We do these things like allow for these huge facilities and structures to be built, and then remove the workers that are here legally from those facilities and send them home. Even if the claim made here that they overstayed their visas or something was legitimate, what is the purpose of sending them home except to highlight the cruelty of the situation? Oh, we shackled these guys up, we'll get you too, blah, 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 blah. That's what I get from stories like this. There is no logical justification to this. And the fact that this keeps happening means that there is an underlying need to show some kind of outright evil to the people that come here in order to work and make a living and make a difference. The Aptera Owners Club video here talked a little bit about that, how these people were very highly educated and very capable of doing their jobs, and how they were not trying to stay in America illegally because they have better situations in Korea, South Korea. It's just a fact. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I could talk about here with respect to this story. But what I'm going to focus on is the fact that this particular battery plant and many others like it were going to be producing cells for vehicles that were going to be produced in the United States. The fewer vehicles that we are producing in the United States that have this futuristic technology in them, the further behind we're going to be in the long run. The US is already on the back foot. We are already getting demolished by all of our competitors from the perspective of the current administration. All of the people that we should be winning against, we are losing against currently because of the policies that they are putting into place. So I don't know what the justification is or what the issue is, the disconnect is. But yeah, these vehicles losing the ability to get these batteries put in their cars is going to slow us down and allow for other countries to take the lead and be the innovators of a technology that will shape the future. If we are not as a country shaping the future, we are leaving a lot on the table. We are being left behind, and we are compromising our ability to be useful in the future on the world stage. All right, so I received this email where they have decided to hire a gentleman by the name of Leon. I'm not going to say his last name because I know I'm going to say it wrong. I tried so many times, and I did a little Google Translate thing to tell me, hey, how do you pronounce this name? I know it's not hard, but for some reason my mouth will not put it together. So I'm not going to disrespect you like this, Mr. Leon, sir. I'm just going to say that they have put together an email that basically celebrates the fact that they found an SVP of engineering. He has a lot of experience. You can see Tesla, Neo, Ford, and he basically helped innovate vehicles on the road today. And he is now working at Aptera. Their summer road trip has been delayed as well, and they mentioned that in the email. They are also hiring for new positions that you can see if you go to their main page and click on careers. You can see all of the positions that they are hiring for. As of this recording, I can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 positions available. So if you guys fall into the experience set necessary to fill any of these positions, I would suggest applying. Yeah, if Aptera is hiring for a random guy on the internet that talks a lot and can do a little bit of video editing to the extent that it is in my videos currently, hit me up, guys. I am super available, super willing to do that whole thing. Yeah, so I am encouraged by the news that they are actually hiring people and that they are seeking to hire people. Both of those things mean that they are either very confident about their future or they know that this is crunch time. This feels like the kind of move where either Aptera is going to be successful in the future, or this could be like a last-ditch effort. I deeply hope it's not the latter. In fact, I actually doubt that it's the latter, but those are the two possibilities that come up in my head when they say, oh, we're going to hire for all these things, is they are really getting the pedal to the metal. They are really trying to hit that February goal so they can get the rest of the funding from California. They are trying to make this thing happen, and I cannot wait to see whether they are successful or not. I expect, like I said, that they will be successful, and they're hiring all of these positions makes me more optimistic than less optimistic that they are going to hit their goal. All right, a little something weird. It makes sense at the end of the day, but it's a little bit weird. There is a new ordinance in New York that allows the NYPD to confiscate electric bike batteries if they are not within a particular set of specifications that were outlined in said ordinance. Let's see. It says all e-bikes sold in the city must use batteries that meet UL standards and come with certification, but that doesn't mean existing e-bikes haven't already been operating with non-certified batteries. So, like, generally speaking, this is not going to be a grandfathered thing. If your bike is not compliant, then there's a good chance that they'll just yank your battery and you'll have to pedal that bad boy. So yeah, that was a little bit weird to me. It feels a little bit overreaching. I feel like there's going to be a lot of pushback, but it is a thing that is happening in New York. All right, so another fantastic video by Aptera Owners Club basically places the numbers for EV fires versus ICE fires in a singular place. I have talked about several videos like this in the past, but I'm going to keep talking about them as long as they keep happening, because it is so important to understand that, generally speaking, electric vehicles catch fire so much less than EVs. It is almost, so much less than gas cars. It is almost ridiculous to even consider them a danger for fire hazard on the same level or more so than ICE vehicles. A lot of people are very alarmist when it comes to reporting on fires from EVs. Basically, I've seen that every EV fire that has ever happened was reported on and became like front page news for everybody. Doubly so if that vehicle was a Tesla. Yet and still, there are so many other vehicles that are catching fire every day that are not electric that they don't cover at all. That it's like, I almost have to come to the conclusion that there's some kind of foul play going on with respect to how the media covers that kind of thing. But giving them the benefit of the doubt here, EV fires are scarier to people, I suppose, because they misunderstand them compared to ICE vehicle fires. But yeah, the long and short of the data says that you are far, far more likely, tens of times, sometimes even hundreds of times more likely to catch a fire from an ICE vehicle than you are to catch one from an EV. So yeah, EV fires happen minuscule in minuscule numbers compared to ICE vehicles. And like I said, if you want to see the stats in the video that he covers here, go ahead and check out the full video if you haven't already. But yeah, it's night and day, not even close to being comparable, how different the numbers are for ICE vehicle fires versus EVs in favor of EVs. So yeah, just for those of you that don't know or haven't heard, EV fires are far more rare and will continue to be more rare as time goes on and the technology evolves. Okay, so talking about Ben Sullins again in the things that I like section of this particular video, he is always on point, or at least he has been on point so far for any of the videos that he has done. The video that he does here is from, in my opinion, an absolute clown. This man is so bad at getting the facts right that he almost elevates in my head to legendary status. Like, there are very few people I can think of that get things more wrong than the gentleman in this video that Ben Sullins covers. But yeah, it is wackadoo. If you want to see all the inaccuracies that Ben Sullins covers in this video, please go ahead and check it out. The link will be in the description. Okay, the next thing that I like this week, there was a Clean Technica article talking about the very real possibilities when it comes to what oil industry tends to want overall. The title, it kind of says it all here. The key to fossil fuel profits: waste as much energy as possible. There have been credible people talking about how the fossil fuel industry seems to want to hinder how efficient things are moving forward. They have lobbied against different things that would make cars more efficient, for instance. They have lobbied against things that make that would have made electric appliances more efficient and things of that nature. Like, long story short, there's a fairly pronounced history of fossil fuel industries doing things that are against the progress of energy efficiency. And the reason why they do that is because they are trying to maintain their stranglehold on the energy infrastructure that we currently have and make as much money on that slowing down of progress as possible. The article itself goes into better detail, does a better job of explaining it than I just did. But yeah, the stats are there, the numbers are there, the research is there to substantiate the fact that we need to get away from fossil fuels as much as possible, as fast as possible, not just because the fuels themselves are, making the planet warmer to our detriment, but also because the embracing of fossil fuels as a concept is literally hindering human progress in a direction that makes us more efficient. Yeah, I absolutely forgot to get permission for this particular video, so it is now just a screenshot of the thumbnail. But basically, this video by 2 Bit da Vincci talks about a new chemistry, or a different chemistry of sodium ion batteries that eliminates a lot of the issues that we as a country have in producing batteries, namely our lack of ability to source things like cobalt and stuff like that, except from other countries. So yeah, he talks about this battery, the chemistry of it a little bit, and does a lot to talk up this American company that seems to have it figured out, so much so that it is possible to have a serious cut in the amount of energy, the amount of cost it takes to bring a competent battery to market. So I really hope this company does great things. If you want to know the company and their chemistry and all that kind of stuff, please check out the video. But yeah, that will be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode, this news update. I am the Ninjaneer once more. If you like this video, please do all of those YouTubey things, and I'll catch you guys next time. Okay, so I had heard about this situation with the LG. Okay.